Welcome to the Cross in the Desert, speaking hope and freedom to Iran. I'm your host, Randy L. Noble, and today on the Cross in the Desert, I want to talk about a Substack article I published a few months ago, but will become very relevant on January 20th, 2025, when Donald J. Trump is sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. I want to talk to you today about the foreign policy changes, the drastic changes that are going to take place in the Middle East. And one of those changes is there will be no more appeasement of the Iranian regime. The Ayatollah is going to have to find a more incredibly swifter, deceitful way to get his money, because he's not going to be getting it from the Trump administration. In fact, President Trump will pile on the sanctions and bankrupt this regime, bringing them to their knees. One thing, though, that President Trump did in his last term, 2017 through 2020, was that he was a powerful voice for the Iranian people. And I have no reason not to expect that when he becomes the 47th President of the United States, he will continue being a powerful voice for the people of Iran. And I can tell you this just from my Iranian friends that live here in the States. They're all very excited for the new upcoming Trump administration. But today I want to focus in on an article I wrote and let you know exactly the passion and the love that Donald Trump has for the Iranian people. You know, back in January 2020, he took out their most important general, in Soleimani was his name, in a drone attack in Iraq. And the Iranian people, for the most part, all over the world, celebrated the death of this evil general. So no doubt things are going to be a lot different in the Middle East when Donald Trump becomes president. He will probably strengthen the Abraham Accords. He will be the best ally to Israel, and he will continue being a powerful voice for the Iranian people. I want to take some time now and read to you from my Substack publication, just so that you get the sense of the man that I voted for that will be a powerful voice for the people of Iran. When Donald Trump took office in 2017 as the 47th President of the United States, he not only became a hero for the American people, but also a powerful voice for suffering Iranians. The previous administration under Barack Obama had turned a blind eye to Iranians in 2009 during one of the bloodiest protests following a presidential election that the people of Iran believed was rigged. And it returned Mahmoud Ahmadinejad to office. However, 2017, there was a new sheriff in town, and things were about to be much different. One of the first orders of business that Trump did as that new sheriff was to tear up the Iran nuclear deal and impose tough sanctions on the dictatorship government. Trump not only confronted the Islamic Republic with an iron fist, but he also did something that no other president had done before. He listened to the cries of the suffering Iranian people. He became their voice. Trump, he loved to go to Twitter. It's called X now, but at that time he made a huge announcement with a powerful tweet on Twitter. And as his custom, he did that to bypass the fake media. He said this: "The future of Iran belongs to its people. They are rightful heirs to a rich culture and an ancient land, and they deserve a nation that does justice to their dreams, to their honor, to their history, and to the glory of God." So, with that tweet, he connected with the Iranian people. By the sentence that made the biggest impact, the future of Iran doesn't belong to the Ayatollah, belongs to its people. That echoes what Abraham Lincoln said in the Gettysburg Address. Government is of the people, by the people, and for the people. And Trump said, look, in this tweet, the future of Iran belongs to its people. So instead of appeasement for the sake of a legacy, Trump called the government of Iran to accountability for their actions. His tweet rocked. It shocked the Iranian world. There was finally a president showing support for the people instead of the mullahs. There was a swift response to Trump's tweet, and I want to read these tweets to you. Thank you, Trump. You saved the Iranian people's future. We, the people of Iran, have been held hostage by a murderous regime for 40 years. We are the main victims of its atrocities. Now, there is a chance with the help of the President of the United States, we break our chains and set ourselves free. We are hostages, but not anymore. So for the first time in 8 years, the Iranian people finally had a voice, and it was Trump. They were now energized and ready to stand up against a dictatorship government. Iranian freedom fighters, angered by the hostile actions of the government and exhausted for more than 40 years of oppression. At that time, they took to the streets against the horrible economic crisis. They confronted the government for their terrorist commitment to Syrians caused by backing Assad, shouting against their strong ties to Palestine. They could be seen wearing bandanas and his picture displayed on posters saying "Death to Khamenei." And of course, they had masks covering their face. The government then, of course, stepped into the peaceful demonstrations and they began firing on the protesters. They didn't have any weapons. And all they had was their loud voices and cardboard signs in this protest. Now, Trump was monitoring all of this going on, of course, and he was outraged by the murderous actions of the government. Trump wasted no time but took to Twitter and displayed his solidarity with the Iranian people, and he wrote and tweeted, "Many reports of peaceful protest by Iranian citizens fed up with the regime's corruption and its squandering of the nation's wealth to fund terrorism abroad. Iranian government should respect their people's rights, including the right to express themselves. The world is watching." Well, it was obvious with that tweet that the Iranian people, they had finally found a voice, a president who would support them and stand behind them. This president was definitely not with the mullahs. Now, even at that time, United Nations Ambassador Nikki Haley also publicly pledged her support for the Iranian people in this powerful speech. She said, "The people of Iran are crying out for freedom. All freedom-loving people must stand with their cause. We must not be silent." What a wonderful thing to say. So I want you to see this picture. Here was a president confronting the Iranian regime, the Islamic Republic, President Donald J. Trump, which he will do again. And he was committed to the human rights of the Iranian people. No more appeasement, no more billions of dollars donated to the mullahs so they can fund their worldwide terrorism. He won't do that again. He won't allow that kind of money to be used by them. And since Trump is going to be that 47th president, there's going to be a massive celebration among Iranians. He has formed an unbreakable connection with them. He listens to their cries. And in January of 2020, as I mentioned, he became their hero when he ordered a drone strike against Qasem Soleimani, killing one of Iran's top generals in the Middle East. Unlike Barack Obama, unlike Joe Biden, Trump will never appease the mullahs. Instead, he will be very tough against the government and once again resume being a powerful voice for the human rights of the Iranian people. Khamenei, your time is very, very limited. There's a new sheriff in town. I want to thank you so much for spending time with me today on the Cross in the Desert. God bless you and have a great rest of the week.